General Hospital spoilers. Brick brings Mike back, a rescue mission, buried secrets, and Sonny's ultimate revenge plan. In a shocking twist that will shake Port Charles to its core, General Hospital spoilers reveal that Brick stuns Sonny Corinthos with the impossible. He brings Mike Corbin back. But this isn't a hoax or a look-alike scam. This is the real Mike, very much alive and hiding a truth that changes everything Sonny thought he knew about loyalty, family, and vengeance. Buckle up for a 4,000-word deep dive into a high-stakes storyline that promises to deliver emotional revelations, betrayals, and a revenge plot like Port Charles has never seen. Sonny Corinthos believed he had buried his father twice. First, when Mike was lost to Alzheimer's, and again when he passed away during the height of the pandemic. But in a world filled with mobsters, secrets, and elaborate deception, the dead don't always stay buried. Brick, who has long operated in the shadows as Sonny's trusted tech and security expert, has been silent for months, off the grid, working on a personal mission he didn't dare share. Not even Sonny knew what he was doing. But now, he's back in Port Charles with an explosive revelation. Mike Corbin is alive. The first moments are filled with disbelief. Sonny, who has lived with the grief of losing his father, lashes out, demanding proof. Brick, calm and solemn, produces the evidence: DNA, hospital records, footage from a high-security clinic in Eastern Europe. It's undeniable. Mike was never cremated. The man laid to rest was not Sonny's father. So, how is this possible? It turns out Mike's death was orchestrated by a powerful enemy who saw an opportunity in Sonny's vulnerability. Victor Cassadine. Before his own supposed death, Victor pulled strings behind the scenes, using medical contacts to fake Mike's death. The real Mike was abducted from the care facility days before his passing and transferred to a secret neurological institute. Victor's motive? Psychological warfare. A long game of revenge targeting Sonny's emotional core. Victor knew that by robbing Sonny of his father, and by extension, his peace of mind, he could leave the Don wounded, unpredictable, and more vulnerable to future attacks. Brick had long suspected something was off. It started with a mismatched dental record and a security breach in the funeral home system. He followed the trail, working with allies in tech and espionage, and finally located Mike, alive but heavily sedated in a private clinic guarded by mercenaries. The rescue was brutal. Brick nearly lost his life pulling Mike from the facility. But he got him out, and now he's brought him home, to Sonny. When Mike and Sonny reunite, it's not the emotional triumph some expect. At first, Mike doesn't recognize him. Years of drug-induced dementia have clouded his mind. But slowly, through conversations, old music, and mementos, Mike starts coming back. Sonny is torn between joy and fury. How could this have happened? Who helped Victor pull this off? Who else knew? Mike begins to recall bits and pieces, not just about Victor, but others involved. He names names Sonny never expected: Cyrus Renault, Gladys Corbin, and someone even closer to home, Dex Heller. This revelation got Sonny. Dex was like a son. He was supposed to be loyal. But Dex's involvement wasn't just betrayal, it was strategic sabotage. He had fed Victor information during the Pikeman chaos, and even kept Mike sedated once Victor was presumed dead. Gladys Corbin, always scheming and greedy, played her role in the cover-up. She was paid handsomely to sign false documents about Mike's death, helping Cassadine operatives falsify medical records and arrange for the body swap. When Sonny confronts her, Gladys thinks she can lie her way out again. But this time, there's no more wiggle room. Mike remembers her voice, her threats, her laughter as he was taken. In a violent outburst, Sonny nearly strangles her before Nina and Carly intervene. But Gladys won't go to the police. No, Sonny has something more brutal planned: banishment. She's stripped of her name, her money, and her protection. Left to fend for herself outside the walls of Port Charles, alone and afraid. While Sonny's focused on his revenge, Brick and Carly form an unlikely team to piece together the full scope of Victor's plot. They discover encrypted files stored on a hidden server used by Pikeman operatives, files that reveal the ultimate motive behind keeping Mike alive: a biological experiment. Victor used Mike's Alzheimer's progression to test a memory-erasing serum, something intended for mass use. The goal? Create a formula to wipe clean the minds of enemies and rebuild them into allies. Mike was patient zero. Horrified, Carly urges Sonny not just to seek vengeance, but to expose this to the world. Brick agrees. But Sonny? He wants more. He wants Victor's remaining allies destroyed, systematically. With Mike slowly regaining his clarity and evidence stacking against Victor's inner circle, Sonny creates a list, his revenge map. Dex Heller, for betrayal and manipulation. Cyrus Renault, for funding Victor's experiments. Gladys Corbin, already handled, but still on watch. Mason Gatlin, for transporting Mike during the original abduction. An unknown Port Charles insider, someone high up, possibly Martin Gray, who signed off on financial transactions and cloaked files that helped fund the Institute. Each of these people becomes a piece in Sonny's final puzzle, one that ends with Victor's legacy obliterated. Dex, sensing the walls closing in, tries to flee Port Charles. But before he goes, he pays Jocelyn one final visit, an apology, a confession, and a plea to disappear together. But Jocelyn has changed. Hardened by past losses and betrayals, she records the entire conversation and hands it to Sonny. Sonny listens in silence as Dex admits everything. His role. The bribes. The guilt. The lies. Dex even admits he once considered letting Mike die in that clinic to keep the truth buried forever. The next day, Dex vanishes. No one knows where. Sonny never speaks of it. But rumors swirl. Some say Jason found him. Others whisper that he's working on a fishing boat in Alaska under a new name. But those who know Sonny best? They believe Dex never left Port Charles alive. With the truth revealed and the players exposed, Sonny moves fast. In a cinematic sequence spanning multiple episodes, Sonny takes each person down one by one. Mason is found beaten and tied up at Pier 54 with a confession note pinned to his chest. Cyrus is arrested in a sting operation orchestrated by Jordan, but insiders know Sonny fed her the evidence. Martin Gray is disbarred after confidential files leak proving his part in laundering Victor's money. It's a silent war, brutal, efficient, final. And in the middle of it all, Sonny holds on to Mike. Not just as a father, but as a symbol. The war nearly stole his family, his sanity, and his soul. Now he rebuilds. As Mike recovers more of his memory, he makes one final request to Sonny. End the cycle of revenge. Mike knows Sonny's wrath can burn everything down, including the people he loves most. He asks his son to forgive, not for the villain's sake, but for his own. Sonny listens. He softens. For the first time in a long time, he considers peace. But peace doesn't come easy to a man like Sonny Corinthos. Brick disappears once again, hinting that more secrets remain hidden overseas. Mike moves in with Sonny, under full-time care, and begins a new therapy regimen with Kevin Collins. Sonny and Carly begin a slow rebuilding of trust, not romantic, but powerful. They co-parent, they protect, and they stand as pillars for their fractured family. And in the shadows, another enemy watches. Someone who wants vengeance for Victor. Someone who knows Mike should have stayed dead. But for now, Sonny has won. His father is back. The truth is out. And Port Charles will never be the same again.